2027 election in Nigeria, can it be free and fair? Many people are calling for political reforms. Best case scenario, we get political reforms, election reforms. Will the election in 2027 in Nigeria be free and fair? Quick answer. The 2027 election in Nigeria can never be free and fair. Never. The earlier we know this, the better for us. And this is why I will advise all the political actors to pay attention to what I'm about to say in this video. Because if you know it, then you can know peace and make progress in 2027. Let nobody be deceived. 2027 election in Nigeria can never be free and fair. Why? And don't ask me for evidence. The evidence is all around. Just take a look around you. Take a look around the happenings in Nigeria. The evidence abounds. It can never be free and fair. With Tinubu will give you free and fair elections in 2027. If Tinubu gives Nigeria 2027 elections that is free and fair, make I bend. For those of you clamoring for electoral reforms, I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst. And that is my advice to Nigeria and Nigerians. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Tinubu can never give Nigeria a free and fair election in 2027. Why? And don't think that, oh, the international community will come and help us. America, UK, oh, the embassy should stop giving corrupt and wicked politicians visa. They there, just they play. Why do you think that Tinubu will be so bold to rig election in Nigeria? Why? Do you think that it is possible for any African leader to rig elections in Nigeria, in Africa, without the support of the Kolo Cabal, without the support of this elite group of people in the global north? Do you think it is possible? The IMF and the World Bank? The CIA? Oh, international community will help us. Stop wasting your time if you are thinking that we alone are the ones that can fix our issues. Those ones, they only back governments that support what they are doing. The reason why there was a resemblance of a free and fair election in 2015, many of you have forgotten it. It was because the Jonathan administration did not play ball with the Kolo Cabal. The first subsidy removal that they were looking for, Jonathan did not give it to them the way they wanted it. The devaluation of the Naira that they wanted, Jonathan did not give it to them the way they wanted it. And to add salt to injury, Jonathan now passed the anti-gay law, the same-sex marriage prohibition law. That was the last straw that broke the camel's back for him. You think that there can be a protest that succeeds, there can be free and fair elections in Nigeria without the backings of the Kolo Cabal? One of the reasons why I am very, very sure that Tinubu will not give Nigeria a free and fair election in 2027 is because I know that he's doing their bidding. They are solidly behind him. Solidly. So if you think that it's because of international community that Tinubu will be afraid, you go to International Parliamentary Union, you go to American Embassy, you go to UN, then Tinubu will be afraid. Now lie you. He knows that as long as he's doing the bidding of the IMF and the World Bank, those Kolokaba, the powers that matter, will be behind him. In fact, they are the ones that will teach him how to rig the election. So 2027 elections can never be free and fair. Never. Some of you are shouting, we need electoral reforms. We need electoral reforms. First question is, who will give you electoral reforms? Akpabio's led National Assembly? Akpabio's National Assembly will give you electoral reform? Yoruba will say, Ofun waton ni Jesu de. He give us electoral reform finish, now Jesus come, world end. Never. Never. They won't reform themselves out of power. They cannot reform themselves out of power. So if you think that they will give us electoral reforms, that is good. I am in support of it. That is best case scenario. Yes. But I am saying my approach, and which is the approach that Nigeria must take, is hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So if electoral reform comes, fine, no problem. But even with electoral reforms, Tinubu will still rig. Go and write this down and mark today's date. Even if an opposition senator is bold enough, you know, the opposition senator, they not get spine anymore. Even if an opposition senator is bold enough to take electoral reform bill to the National Assembly and somehow he gets a miracle and passes it, and we have that electoral reform today, Tinubu will still rig. So the best approach is to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Because you can't rely on these people to give you electoral reforms. The same people that could not manage to speak up against the coup that took place in Rivers State. How will they give you electoral reforms? How? The same lawmakers that are moving mountains and ganging up to remove Senator Natasha, however illegally, is it those ones that will give you electoral reforms? You think they want to reform themselves out of power? Government money sweet too, you don't know. If you are chopping government money, you don't want to leave it. You need to see some of these people sometimes, the kind of lifestyle they live. Just they import girls from all around the world. Not be their money now. They are not working for it. Not be here with the former NDDC chairman, or what do you call them now? That lady accused Akpabio of refusing to put NDDC on the national grid, but instead put them on diesel and gave the contract of diesel to his girlfriend. Not be me talking. Now she talking, Joy Nunez. And Akpabio did not take any action to say she defamed him. These people are living, they are boiling, no, forget. If you are there praying that, corrupt politician, God will punish them. God is not punishing any corrupt politician, no. They are boiling. And they will continue to boil. While the rest of us continue to not boil. Unless we do something about it. For me, it is a thing of pride. A thing of national pride. So these people, they cannot reform themselves out of power. Never. And they are not thinking about the national interest of Nigeria. Never. They are thinking of their own interest. So they don't mind that they are selling their brothers and sisters into slavery. They don't mind, so far as they get a little luxury. Many people don't understand that the complaint that some of us have, that our forefathers sold their brothers and sisters into slavery for mirror, for ogogoro, that is whiskey, for pancake, for Ankara. You know, when we hear it, we think, oh, what kind of thing is that? It's not possible. It is, and it is happening now. The mistake we make is think that it's just mirror, or it's just whiskey or gogoro, or it's just powder, or it's just Ankara. Those things in that time, they were luxury. They were luxury. So the Europeans and the colonialists knew how to feed the greed of our forefathers then. They fed it, and those people fed their greed fat to the extent that they didn't care about the well-being of their brethren. They didn't. They could sell their brothers and sisters into slavery just to afford and get some luxury. Is it not happening today? Is it not happening today? Electoral reforms would be nice to have. In fact, it would be nice to have this defection. You know, all these ones that Rufai is jumping from APC to SDP and people are clapping. Nice to have. But you see, that will not give us a free and fair election. I hope you know. And that guarantees nothing. If anything, Rufai's defection is a Trojan horse. If you don't know what a Trojan horse is, ask around, they'll tell you. It is a gift that is meant to kill you. That is what a Trojan horse is. You think it is a gift that the enemy gives you for peace. But inside it contains deadly venom that will end you. That's what a Trojan horse is. El-Rufai's defection, if you ask me, in my opinion, is a Trojan horse. For me, it is a card that Tinubu is playing. They've known this thing, so they planned it from the beginning. That was how he planned Daniel Bwala's defection. They knew that they were going to do Muslim ticket. They knew. And they knew what the fallouts would be. So they knew people, they would say, defect because of this and go to this and do damage from within. Nobody can tell me that Daniel Bwala's defection from Tinubu to Atiku was not a plan. It was a Trojan horse to get a Tinubu insider to become an Atiku's insider, getting information from Atiku to feed back to Tinubu. That was what happened. Daniel Bwala was a Trojan horse. He was a traitor, fed into the team of Atiku, planted into his inner caucus to sabotage him. And after he has succeeded, they have accepted him back. That is the proof you need. It was a Trojan horse. One thing you must give to Tinubu is that in this his rigging plan, he knows how to play the game. 2, 3, 4 moves ahead. So he knows that, oh, the policies he's going to implement, if he's going to remain in power, must be policies that please the IMF and World Bank. And he knows that if he implements those policies, there is no way the North will be happy. So what will he do? He will need an El-Rufai to say, okay, I want you to be minister. Now I don't want you to be minister. So that you will be angry. We will create the pretext to say you are angry with me because I didn't give you minister. Then because of that, you will defect to SDP. And then you will call Atiku to come and form coalition. Then you will now be feeding me back insider information so that we will use it to stop Atiku. I will get my second term. Then after my second term, you will now defect back to APC. I will now give you ticket to run for presidency in 2031. That is the game El-Rufai is playing. Don't know why you people are not seeing it. I don't know why you people are not seeing it. So I am very, very sure that the 2027 elections in Nigeria will not be free and fair. Why? In 2023 here, with all the North behind him because of the Mumu ticket, Muslim ticket, which is actually Mumu anyway, with the military behind him, with all the money, with the incumbent government behind him, he still only struggled to get 8 million votes out of 94 million voters with PVC in Nigeria. 8 million out of 94. He struggled to get it. In fact, he lost Lagos. And now, the North is no longer behind him. If he lost then, if he struggled to win, how do you think he will win now that the North is not behind him? He knows that his policies have caused untold suffering and hardship for the people. He knows. So the only way for Tinubu to continue in office beyond 2027 is through rigging. Let that be settled in the minds of all Nigerians. Rigging. Shouting for electoral reforms, not going to help. Shouting for restructuring, not going to help. Shouting for new constitution, not going to help. Not that they are not good things to pursue. They are very good things to pursue. But it's not going to help. What is going to help? We'll look at it in this video. Is to first of all know that the election will be rigged. So when we are planning for a rigged election. We are planning for a rigged election. If we don't plan for a rigged election, we fail. We fail. And the sufferings of Nigerians will continue. So, now that we know that the 2027 elections will be rigged, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to just give up? Are we supposed to just stay back? Are we supposed to do civil disobedience? Because some of you are clamoring for civil disobedience. Oh, we must boycott the 2027 election if they don't give us electoral reforms. That is exactly why they won't give you electoral reforms, because it appears as though you don't understand the most important ingredients for rigging election. What is the most important ingredient for rigging election? Voter apathy. Why did a Tinubu allegedly use a Simon Ekpa against a Peter Obi in the southeast? Why? To reduce the numbers, to increase voter apathy. So that out of the 10.4 million voters in the southeast with PVC, only 1.6 million people came out to vote for Peter Obi. Combine all the votes on the 5 southeastern states, 1.6 million voters. Anambra was 400 and something thousand. And so they reduced all the votes to echelon form. How? Voter apathy. Through what? Through threats of sit at home by Simon Ekpa. In fact, he declared a 2-week sit at home before the election. Because he openly denied Peter Obi, thinking he's doing Nigerians. But does he know that the first set of people that will be affected the most, the Igbos? Why did Tinubu use Simon Ekpa against Peter Obi? And not only Simon Ekpa, a lot of Igbo leaders. Why? It's to cause voter apathy. The likes of Atoyeze. In fact, in one night they raised billions from the southeast to support the campaign of Tinubu. Meanwhile, Peter Obi only struggled with hundreds of millions from the southeast. It's to discourage people, to say don't bother to come out to vote, because voter apathy is the #1 ingredient for rigging election. When people don't turn out to vote, it becomes easy to rig an election. So when you say civil disobedience, I laugh. You think it was a mistake that Tinubu went to UK, had a meeting, told his followers that power is not served a la carte. You have to grab it, you have to snatch it, you have to run with it. You think it was a mistake that video was leaked? It was not leaked. It was deliberately released. Why? To strike fear in the hearts of Nigerians, so that majority of them will not come and vote for fear of dying. When some of you say, oh, you have to keep your strategy so that the enemy... No, there are some strategy you have to speak out to strike fear. And that was what he did. The number one ingredient of rigging elections in Nigeria, in Africa, is voter apathy. When people don't come out to vote, then you can use their name. So if you are suggesting civil disobedience, boycott of the 2027 election, is that the way to go? Will it solve anything? The answer is no. Imagine it. Not imagine it. Remind yourself of it. In 2023, we had 94 million voters with PVC. 94 million. Forget the ones that did not get their PVC, that we seem to focus on. Now you say, oh, there were some PVCs that were thrown inside the gutter. Some PVC were hidden. If you go and collect your PVC in Lagos and your name is Igbo, then they will not give you your PVC. Well, I'm not saying that did not happen. But how many were those PVCs? The PVCs that were not collected in the whole of Nigeria is about 4 million PVCs. Less than 4 million PVCs. People with PVC, 94 million in Nigeria. And out of that 94 million people with PVC, 94 voters, 94 million voters with PVC, how many people came out to come and vote? 27 million. So there is a 60 million bulk vote, or a 60 million group of voters that didn't come out to vote in that election. Why? Voter apathy. When those 60 million did not come, it became easy for them to go to the same block of 20 million, 22 million, 27 million Nigerians that always vote based on how much you go pay for my vote. And based on, oh, I know this guy, if he win, he go give me contract. I know this guy, if he win, now my church member in B, he go give me job. I know this guy, if he win, now my mosque in they go, he go give me money. I know those are the same crop of people that have been voting that you can induce by buying their votes or by induce by promising them jobs that never come. If we can get rid of voter apathy and get the 60 million voters that have not come out to vote to come out, it will be almost impossible for Tinubu to rig. It will be impossible for Tinubu to rig. So our approach to 2027 election must be this, and this is a word of advice to Peter Obi, to Showore, to Al-Mustafa, and all these people. A word of advice. Our approach should be prepare for the hope for the best and prepare for the worst. You must plan for an election that you know will be rigged. And how do you plan for an election you know will be rigged? You understand how that election will be rigged. How did Tinubu rig the 2023 elections? How will he rig the 2027 elections? You must understand it. If you don't understand it, you're wasting time. Somehow, many of you think that if you speak out against Tinubu as much as possible, then people will dislike him and then they will come and vote for Peter Obi or Atiku or Mustafa. You think that? No. Doesn't work like that. Oh, you think if Nigerians are hungry enough, then they will see that, oh, they need to vote for somebody apart from Tinubu? In fact, it is that hunger that will make people vote for Tinubu, because they will see and think that propaganda is true. That Tinubu will give them money, Tinubu will help them. You know, they have created this propaganda now that Tinubu is a helper of men. How did he rig it? How did he rig 2023 election? It will give you an idea of how he will rig 2027 election. First is voter apathy. And all of you presidential aspirants must understand this and plan for an election you know will be rigged. He will use thugs again. Why do you think they declared Oro in Lagos during the gubernatorial elections? To cause voter apathy. Why do you think that security agencies become compromised? To cause voter apathy. Why do you think that compromised INEC officials is a big deal? To cause voter apathy. Why do you think that a compromised judiciary is a big deal? To cause voter apathy. Because people will just say, oh, and they are saying it already. 2027 elections, they will just write the result. What impact does that have on the psyche of Nigerians? How do Nigerians see it when this statement is made? There's no need to come out to come and vote. I'll just stay in my house. They have written the result. That is exactly what they want. That is why they are pushing this propaganda, this narrative. And we should not help them do it. Rather, we should plan for however they want to rig the election. You know, pass these ways now. Take advantage of voter apathy. Use thugs to disrupt elections in strategic polling units. We forget that there are 176,000 polling units plus in Nigeria. And you cannot have electoral violence in more than 10,000, 20,000 polling units. It's not possible. If there is polling unit violence in more than 20,000 polling units, then it becomes significant. INEC would declare the elections inconclusive. It doesn't pay them. That's not what they want. So when they engage their polling unit thuggery and violence in elections, they do it strategically in strategic chosen polling units. And we can checkmate them. In 2023, compromised INEC officials helped to rig elections from the Registration Area Collation Center. That is the Ward Collation Center. That was where it started from. The rigging that took place at polling unit was done in connivance with smaller political parties and opposition polling unit agents. Compromised opposition polling unit agents. So if we understand that, we can deal with that. And then to deal with INEC compromised officials, we can handle it too. We plan for it. I'll do a separate video for that. Security agencies, we can put them in check. We can. And the last but not the least, the judiciary. Very easy to handle. Many people say in 2023, the judiciary just looked the other way. They changed 5%. They did all that. I say, look, all of those are inconsequential. The basic unit of election in Nigeria is the polling unit. And the basic unit of evidence that is tenable is the polling unit result. So any sensible or smart politician or Nigerian will focus on the polling unit. And you won't believe the lies that INEC will tell you that will do electronic transmission of results. And then because of that, sit down and not have your own collation center. And publish it to your own website in real time. Because you say, oh, it's only INEC that has the power to declare results. Yes, that is right. But that doesn't stop the political parties from doing their own collation and publishing it online in real time. Even faster than that of INEC. There's no law in Nigeria that stops any political party from doing that. But the political parties in 2023 allowed themselves to be fooled by INEC into thinking there will be electronic transmission and even electronic collation. You don't have to wait for that. You do your own collation. You come up with your own network of reliable polling unit agent, not the type that PDP had in Edo election where APC were buying PDP polling unit agents with 100,000 naira, according to the video of that young agent that spoke with his own mouth. Agents that are reliable, that are incorrigible. And then you have your polling unit from EC8A in your hand, original. You have an election management software such that as the results are announced from the polling unit, before they finish signing the form by the different polling unit agent and police and all that, the result has reached your national collation center for your political party. You have collated it because it's automatic. By the time your polling unit agent is taking the result or following the result to the ward collation center, your ward collation center agent already has the result. So when they are bringing their manipulated result, he has figures to counter them. The same thing for the local government, the same thing for state, the same thing for national. We have to plan for a rigged election in 2027. There cannot be a free and fair election, no matter the electoral reform they give you. These people cannot rig, they cannot reform themselves out of power. The earlier we know this, the better for us. So what are the solutions? What are the ways that we can put INEC in check to make sure that the 2027 elections will be free and fair? There are ways, and we'll talk about them in the next video. But in the meantime, don't forget, join Abundance Party to create a political party of the people. A political party that levels the playing field in Nigeria. A political party that guarantees that nomination forms and expression of interest forms are free. A political party that guarantees that the mode of primary is direct and the mode of primaries is electronic. The political party that guarantees that Nigerians in diaspora can vote in the primaries. A political party that guarantees restructuring, that guarantees a new constitution, that guarantees devolution of power in their constitution with clearly stated punishment for elected officials that breach it. We need that kind of political party where there's a level playing field. Your opportunity, your chance of getting the ticket is not dependent on how deep your pocket is, but how bright and smart your ideas are. That's the kind of political party we need. It is only that kind of political party that will reduce voter apathy. It is only that kind of political party that will, all the 60 million voters with PVC that have refused to come out and vote, it is only a political party like Abundance that can guarantee that they will come out, because they will see real alternatives. Real alternatives, not recycled political vultures and political thieves. A political party that is engaging the Abundance Food Program to guarantee abundant food in Nigeria. And this is no joke. No Nigerian should go to bed hungry. Getting help to feed your family should not depend on which corrupt politician you know. It should not depend on your destiny helper or divine connection to politically corrupt leaders. No, it should not depend on that. It should depend on government. Government is supposed to be like a father to the children. It is the responsibility of government to take care of its family. So the Abundance Food Program of the Abundance Party will guarantee there is surplus of food in Nigeria so that the prices of food will come down. It can happen within 6 months. It can happen within 6 months. How long does it take to grow corn? How long does it take to grow poultry, chicken? How long does it take to grow fish? How long? Just one holiday, the long holiday is 3 months. We can put our children to work in agriculture, put our youth corpers to work in agriculture, put our unemployed youth to work in agriculture. Support them, because the biggest problem, the biggest obstacle to engaging in agriculture in Nigeria today is that it is very capital intensive and the people simply don't have the money to start or engage. Not to forget the fact that it is high risk. So even when you get the money as loan, you could lose it just like that with one flu or with one disease on crops, with one headsmen bringing their cattle to come and eat your corn or eat your beans. How long does it take to grow beans? How long does it take to grow rice? With all the arable farmlands in Nigeria, in 6 months, we will have all these in supply. Because we know that it's only agriculture that can employ millions of Nigerians. Not all this rubbish. Forget that we say that you can make money from social media. Yes, and I encourage people to do that. You can make money from music. Yes. But how many people can that employ? All those is feeding into the consumption economy that the Kolo Kaba wants us to have. But if you're going to have a production economy, you have to think towards, and we can do it in less than 6 months with the Abundance Food Program. We have it drafted. That's why you must join the Abundance Party and join and support this program. There's a link in the description. Donate your money to it. We have means to fund the program once we take power, but before that time, we get volunteers to donate. All the monies people are using to buy Ferraris and Rolls Royce here and there, Rolls Royce that they don't have road to drive. Sell those Rolls Royce and Ferrari and Lamborghinis. Bring the money to support the Abundance Food Program. All the tithes and offering we give to pastors and imams and even babalawos, or you don't know you give tithes and offering to babalawo. Bring it. Every year we give up to 10 trillion naira to pastors and imams and babalawos as tithes and offerings and donations. That's what we do. Bring that 10 trillion. Use it to support the Abundance Food Program and see if in 1 year we will not crash the prices of food and make food so abundant in Nigeria that hunger will be a thing of the past. And we will still have plenty of food to export, to earn foreign exchange, strengthening the naira. These things are not rocket science. It's just that we have vulture politicians that are not thinking in the interest of their people. Stupid politicians that think they are smart, but they don't know that they are dumb in the hands of the elite group of people in the US-led West, in the hands of the Colo cabal, the IMF and the World Bank. The IMF and the World Bank, they just be looking at your leaders and say, this mumu, they don't even know anything. You're taking away your resources and giving you peanuts as kickbacks, and that's okay for you. No sense of national pride. Only Abundance Party will help us achieve abundance food supply in Nigeria. So join us. There's a link in the description. Put your tithes and your offerings and your donations there. Let us kickstart this program so that we can free the people from dependence on corrupt government officials for food. If we don't free the people from that trap that weaponized poverty has put hungry Nigerians in, if we don't free them from that trap, they will continue to sell their votes for 5,000, 10,000 during the election. In fact, for 500 naira. In the north, we saw where they were giving them 500 naira to vote. The same north that has the capacity to feed the whole of Africa. We have to free them from that trap. When a Nigerian is hungry, he should not be thinking, which corrupt politician should I look for? No. He should know, guaranteed, that the government will take care of him or her. Just like they do in America. That's what we stand for. And we say, bring your donations to help us achieve this. This is what we need, though. Every other thing is a waste of time. So, next time, we'll talk about how we can check INEC, check judiciary, check the security agencies, check thugs, to make sure that we take back Nigeria from the hands of the vultures that currently control it, from the gang of thieves that currently control it. We take back Nigeria from them in 2027. A new Nigeria is indeed very, very possible.